Welcome to Naju where the vibes are already cursed and the local government is having a total meltdown. These guards are stressed out of their minds because their boss is obsessed with a stolen treasure. Enter the royal inspector who's basically screaming at everyone to go find some ancient loot. He's dangling promotions and riches like a carrot, but honestly, this guy looks like he's possessed by a demon. He's losing his grip rambling about how the treasure belongs only to him. Red flag anyone? Yeah, he's definitely not in control anymore. Something else is pulling the strings. And there it is. A literal shadow monster is haunting his every move. Talk about a bad day at the office. It's literally feeding on his greed. This guy is about to have a very bad time. The internal struggle is real and it's getting ugly fast. Meanwhile, the guards are just trying to survive the day completely oblivious to the supernatural horror show. The boss is still power tripping, threatening to whip everyone while he's clearly losing his mind. The guards are rightfully terrified. They know someone's head is about to roll. Wait, what is that? That's not a normal hand. That's a nightmare. Surprise, it's an all-out monster invasion. The guards are officially screwed. A goblin? Yeah, no kidding, buddy. Welcome to 1232, where the Goryeo dynasty is about to get wrecked by literal hellspawn. It's a full-blown goblin outbreak and the architecture is taking a serious beating. Naju province? More like the buffet line for these monsters, it's total chaos. The living are snacks and the dead are just leftovers. And just when you thought it could not get worse, something even bigger is stepping into the frame. Good luck, guys. The Black Ghost Corps is back and they're looking for trouble, specifically Chioyang's legendary treasure. Grand General Choi is on a mission to wipe out the goblin menace and he's not exactly asking nicely. He's basically telling his squad if it moves kill it because apparently diplomacy is dead. Meet Choi Hyunji, the guy who thinks he's the main character of Goryeo. And honestly, he's got the ego to match. Meanwhile, near Songgek Mountain, some poor souls are getting major I'm about to die vibes. They're whispering about local bandits who are definitely not your average muggers. They're actual goblins. One guy is trying to play it cool, but the other is busy trauma dumping about the Naju incident from 12 years ago. And look at these escorts. They're literally just shadowy, ominous figures in hoods. Totally normal, right? Yeah, that's definitely not a friendly neighborhood guard. That's a nightmare fuel special. The travelers are oblivious, but the shadows are literally laughing at them. Talk about a bad omen. While everyone else is terrified, this guy just hit the jackpot. He found a worthless handle that's actually a cursed artifact. It's the resentful sickle, because nothing says I'm going to have a great day like a weapon that drives you insane. He's so busy fanboying over his new loot that he misses the giant ominous sound approaching. Surprise, the road trip just turned into a horror movie. A literal goblin just crashed the party and it's not here for the snacks. A goblin. Thanks for the play by Play Captain Obvious. This thing is huge and it's pointing at them like they're the daily special at a goblin buffet. The goblin is actually trying to negotiate. Give me the treasure or I'll kill you. Tough choice, buddy. Then out of nowhere, a blue-haired girl kicks the goblin in the face. Talk about an entrance. Meet the new players. Hardstone the Rock Goblin and the Sky Serpent. Things just went from bad to completely unhinged. Our blue-haired girl is looking at this mess like, seriously, you guys again? The Black Ghost Corps is back acting like they own the place and ruining the vibe. They're hunting for Chioyang's treasure because apparently Goryeo is not dangerous enough already. They're acting all high and mighty, but honestly they look like they're wearing Halloween costumes. Here comes the main antagonist ready to monologue while everyone else just wants to go home. Our girl is absolutely fed up with these guys. The bastard count is officially rising. It's the Black Ghost Corps, the self-proclaimed goblin hunters, and they're looking for a fight. Meet Lee Do-hyun, the guy who thinks being a rank 7 makes him the king of the world. She's shocked they showed up, but let's be real, they were never going to miss this party. He's talking smack, calling everyone foolish, which is classic villain behavior 101. He strikes, but it's not exactly the clean kill he was hoping for. Someone just got absolutely wrecked, and it's not looking good for the home team. Lee is getting impatient, yelling at his squad to stop slacking off. Poor Han-gil is just lying there completely out of the game. The boss is basically saying, if you cannot handle a few kids, what are you even doing here? He's realizing that maybe, just maybe, he's in over his head. Enter Han-gil, the rank 6, who's about to find out that confidence does not stop blades. They're hyping each other up like a high school football team before the big game. This guy is playing the ultimate hype man, telling the boss to go all out while he stays back. The boss is eating up the flattery, completely oblivious to the fact that he's being played. Our blue-haired girl is watching this chaos like, are you guys done yet? Behold the forbidden power. It's basically a magical stress ball that ruins lives. She's had enough of these clowns telling them to scram and take their drama elsewhere. Enter Hardstone, the rock-solid muscle, while our guy tries to act like the main character of Goryeo. That's not a friendly handshake. That's a giant monster hand about to ruin someone's day. The Black Ghost Corps are finding out that being elite does not stop you from getting flattened. She's really not playing around, blasting them with enough energy to clear the room. Our hero is trying to look cool, but he's basically just a guy with a fancy stick. He swings, but the only thing he's hitting is thin air and regret. Panic mode activated. This guy is realizing his once-in-a-lifetime loot is actually a death sentence. He's busy roasting his own team for being useless as if he's doing any better. Goblins at the doorstep. Yeah, welcome to the worst road trip in history. He's fully committed to the every man for himself strategy now. Those are not just shadows. They're coming for him and they look hungry. He's trying to block, but his face says, I've made a huge mistake. That look in his eyes, that's the exact moment he realizes he's the snack. He's gasping for air, realizing that maybe he should not have picked up that cursed sickle. The monster is getting closer, and it's definitely not here to talk about his feelings. It's grabbing him, and he's finally starting to sound like a guy who's about to get folded. Leave it behind. Yeah, maybe listen to the monster before it turns you into lunch. The monster is basically giving our guy a final warning. Drop the loot or become a snack. And he's losing his mind, screaming into the void like he just realized his life insurance policy does not cover cursed sickle accidents. He's trying to channel some kind of power, but honestly he just looks like he's having a really intense allergic reaction. The panic is real. He's officially in I'm about to get folded mode. He's literally puking up a rainbow of regret. Talk about a bad day at the office. He's staring at his hand like, wait, did I just ruin my entire life for a piece of metal? He's blaming the booze, but we all know he's just looking for an excuse for his terrible life choices. He's looking at the exit, thinking if I run now maybe the monster will not notice I'm a coward. The monster is still there being all ominous and hey, pay attention to me while our guy tries to play it cool. It's giving him the do not touch that speech because apparently humans are just too dumb to handle cursed kitchenware. Meet Shinrock the deer goblin, who's basically the voice of reason in this absolute dumpster fire. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew is busy shouting block, dodge, do not die, like they're playing a very high stakes game of tag. Our girl is absolutely done with these idiots telling them to shut up while she handles the giant monster. The coordination is non-existent. They're arguing over lefts and rights while the world is literally ending around them. She unleashes a blast of energy, proving that sometimes the best way to handle a meeting is to just blow everything up. She's standing there face palming, wondering how she ended up with the most incompetent coworkers in Goryeo history. Someone just got hit and the look on their face is pure unadulterated I regret everything. She's calling out the monster for being all muscle and no brain. Classic trash talk before the beatdown. She's ready for round 2 because apparently one explosion just was not enough to get the point across. She turns around probably to yell at her team again because the drama in this group never actually ends. Our masked hero is literally flying through the air, probably wondering why his life has become a chaotic action sequence. He's screaming into the void, but honestly at this point, the void is probably tired of hearing him. And boom, the atmosphere just got a major upgrade in the terrifying department. Our guy is absolutely losing it, calling Lee Do-hyung a fragile piece of trash. Tell us how you really feel, buddy. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a cursed blade, and everyone is just waiting for the inevitable disaster. He's getting absolutely wrecked by a goblin, and the irony of him being the greatest sword is just peak comedy. A moment of silence for his dignity, which officially left the chat about 5 minutes ago. Just as planned, he says, while clearly sweating buckets and praying for a miracle. Meanwhile, our blue-haired girl is losing her mind over the dear geezer. Seriously, how does this guy function? She's got that I'm about to do something stupidly powerful look in her eyes. Bikdu. She's not just calling a name, she's summoning a headache for everyone involved. The banter is top tier. Take care of that dumb deer. Who are you calling dumb? It's a soap opera with more monsters. Enter the new guy floating in like he's got an ego the size of Goryeo. Our masked hero is shook. He did not even hear the guy coming. The new arrival is literally standing on the deer goblin's head and the audacity is honestly impressive. Meet Bikdu. He's meticulous, he's shadowy, and he's very concerned about his shoes. He's roasting our hero for struggling with worthless thugs. Ouch, that's gotta sting the pride. The mask is on, the rage is bubbling, and our guy is officially done with the disrespect. The deer goblin is still shouting in the background while the real heavy hitters start their staring contest. It's on, the trash talking is over, and now it's time to see who actually has the skills to back up the ego. Our guy's hand is shaking, and honestly it's not from the cold. It's the cursed sickle acting up. He's completely losing his grip on reality as the artifact starts to feed on his sanity. Meanwhile, the tension is so thick you could slice it with a dull blade and someone's definitely about to snap. How about I send you all to the afterlife? Talk about a warm, fuzzy greeting from our masked hero. He's not here to make friends, and he's definitely not here to play nice. The confusion is real. Everyone's just staring at each other like they're in a standoff at a bad karaoke bar. Boom! A massive blast of energy hits because why talk it out when you can just cause an explosion? The deer goblin is losing his mind, screaming his lungs out while the chaos reaches peak levels. Our white-haired villain is actually impressed. A human using demonic energy, how cute. Our hero is not taking the shade, sitting down, throwing a special gift right back at them. The villain is unimpressed, basically saying your gift and your personality are both trash. Mutual understanding? Yeah, right. This is just two people who really want to punch each other. The insults are flying fast. I do not like you either, you white-haired bastard. Meanwhile, some poor guy is still trying to fight, completely oblivious to the fact that he's out of his league. He's literally screaming, why are you fighting instead of doing your job? Talk about a bad boss moment. He's trying to report back to the general, but his hand is literally melting from the cursed energy. What is this? The path to him. He's realizing his life choices were a massive mistake. The villain is watching this disaster with pure, unadulterated annoyance. Open it, he commands, and the clash of blades makes it clear that the gloves are officially off. The final jab. You talk big for someone who's about to get folded. It's go time. Our dear goblin friend is officially done with the trash talk, but the shadow looming over him clearly did not get the memo. He's genuinely mourning his decade-long horn cultivation. Priorities, right? That's the face of a guy who just realized he's about to be the main course. And just like that, the whoa what the hell moment kicks in as the shadow strikes. He's dodging and weaving, wondering why his life has turned into a cursed high-stakes game of tag. The artifact is glowing, the shadows are hungry, and it's screaming open like a bad infomercial. That's not a treasure. That's a literal red flag of doom manifesting in the air. Everyone's just standing there staring at the impending disaster like they're waiting for a bus that's never coming. Boom, the energy blast hits, and suddenly everyone is rethinking their career choices. Our masked hero is looking at the chaos like, I really should have stayed in bed today. The atmosphere is officially vibrating with enough demonic energy to power a small city. The whole crew is just standing in the wreckage, collectively wondering how they ended up in this dumpster fire. Our blue-haired girl is on the sidelines basically saying, I told you this was a bad idea, but did you listen? The masked duo is trying to figure out what's happening, but the answer is usually everything is exploding. He's sensing something lurking in the shadows, because obviously one crisis is not enough. The air itself is cracking like a cheap smartphone screen. And here comes the red monstrosity smashing through reality like it's a sliding glass door. It's sniffing the air, probably looking for a snack, and it definitely looks hangry. The standoff is real, and the tension is thick enough to choke a horse. And just like that, the monster shatters the scene, proving that in Goryeo, nothing stays in one piece for long. Talk about a bad day at the office. This monster is literally tearing through reality like it's a cheap paper bag. Just look at that face. He's definitely not here to ask for directions or discuss his feelings. Our heroes are in the middle of a high-stakes panic attack, screaming at each other while the world literally ends around them. The realization is finally hitting. They have absolutely no idea what's going on, and honestly, neither do I. It's a full-blown monster mosh pit, and our crew is just standing there probably wondering if they left the oven on at home. Meanwhile, in the creepy forest, some shadowy figure is busy being ominous and dramatic. Classic villain behavior. He's got that I'm about to ruin everyone's weekend grin, and yeah, whatever it is, it's definitely going to be a disaster. Reality is literally tearing at the seams, and the Red Lizard Squad is ready to turn everyone into a buffet. Our blue-haired girl is having a total meltdown, screaming that she hates lizards. Yeah, join the club, honey. Everyone's staring at the interdimensional hole like it's a bad omen, while our masked hero tries to rack his brain for answers. Suddenly, the realization hits him like a freight train. He knows exactly what's going on, and it's not good. Before he can spill the beans, the dear goblin shuts him down, blaming him for losing the treasure that started this whole mess. A mysterious new guy shows up looking all smug and dropping the "your friends are trash" line. Talk about a rude entrance. He's got the audacity to act superior, claiming he's super picky about his friend group. He starts flexing his dark energy because clearly we did not have enough explosions today. The clash is instant. Sparks are flying, and our masked hero is caught in the middle of a very aggressive "who's the boss" contest. The lizard squad is still lurking, looking hungry, and definitely not interested in a peace treaty. Our hero is already over it, sighing because this entire situation is just one massive headache. They're coming, he yells as the team realizes they're about to be swarmed by the Red Menace. He's trying to focus on his own fight, but the chaos is just too much to handle. He tells the others to buzz off, clearly not in the mood for a group project. The lizards strike, and it's a full-on beatdown. These guys are not playing around. He tries to delegate the grunt work to Lee Do-hyung, because why do it yourself when you can boss someone else around? Lee Do-hyung is having none of it, telling him exactly where he can stick his orders. Our masked guy decides it's time to show off, bragging about being the greatest sword while everyone else just wants to survive. Watch closely. He shouts, preparing to do something flashy that will probably backfire. He's busy calling everyone pathetic weaklings, completely oblivious to the fact that he's about to get folded. Our masked hero is having a why me moment, staring down an army of red lizard freaks that just will not quit. He gets grabbed, and honestly, the look of pure "I am so done with this" on his face is relatable content. He's not taking the disrespect, calling these lizards insignificant while preparing to show them who's actually boss. Time to get serious. He unleashes his ghost face armor art because apparently looking cool is half the battle. He goes full flying sword mode, shredding through the lizard squad like they're made of wet tissue paper. He strikes a pose, arms crossed, waiting for the applause. Too bad his coworkers are too busy panicking to notice. He's analyzing the situation, noting that while these lizards have zero brain cells, they're somehow moving in perfect sync. Something is definitely fishy, and our guy is starting to realize he's being played like a cheap fiddle. He cranks up his senses, spotting a stray cat in the shadows, and by cat he means a total nightmare. Enter the shadowy villain looking like he just stepped out of a How to Be Creepy 101 seminar. Our hero's intuition kicks in. He knows someone is watching and it's definitely not a fan. He's bracing for impact, realizing that his current situation is about to go from bad to apocalyptic. A massive surge of dark energy hits him, and he's basically doing a dramatic interpretive dance of pain. He's panicking, thinking, I do not know who these guys are, but if they catch me, I'm toast. The villain shows up with a smug ho-ho-ho, acting like he's the main character in this dumpster fire. He drops the classic "we'll meet again" line, because villains are legally required to be dramatic before leaving. Our hero is getting tossed around like a ragdoll while yelling at the dear goblin to let go. Drama, drama, drama. He's absolutely fed up, and you can practically see the steam coming out of his ears. He spots the dear goblin again and decides to take his frustration out on him with a solid thud. He's busy bragging about saving the deer's life, completely ignoring the giant lizard about to turn him into a snack. Our masked hero is having a why me moment, staring down an army of red lizard freaks that just will not quit. He gets grabbed, and honestly, the look of pure "I am so done with this" on his face is relatable content. He's not taking the disrespect, calling these lizards insignificant while preparing to show them who's actually boss. Time to get serious. He unleashes his ghost face armor art because apparently looking cool is half the battle. The lizard squad is still lurking, looking hungry, and definitely not interested in a peace treaty. He goes full flying sword mode, shredding through the lizard squad like they're made of wet tissue paper. He strikes a pose, arms crossed, waiting for the applause. Too bad his coworkers are too busy panicking to notice. He tries to delegate the grunt work to Lee Do-hyung, because why do it yourself when you can boss someone else around? Lee Do-hyung is having none of it, telling him exactly where he can stick his orders. Enter the shadowy villain looking like he just stepped out of a How to Be Creepy 101 seminar. Our hero's intuition kicks in. He knows someone is watching and it's definitely not a fan. He's bracing for impact, realizing that his current situation is about to go from bad to apocalyptic. A massive surge of dark energy hits him, and he's basically doing a dramatic interpretive dance of pain. He's panicking, thinking, I do not know who these guys are, but if they catch me, I'm toast. The villain shows up with a smug ho-ho-ho, acting like he's the main character in this dumpster fire. He drops the classic "we'll meet again" line, because villains are legally required to be dramatic before leaving. Our hero is getting tossed around like a ragdoll while yelling at the dear goblin to let go. Drama, drama, drama. He's absolutely fed up, and you can practically see the steam coming out of his ears. He spots the dear goblin again and decides to take his frustration out on him with a solid thud. He's busy bragging about saving the deer's life, completely ignoring the giant lizard about to turn him into a snack. Our dear goblin friend is officially losing his mind, screaming about how the villain just ruined everything. The white-haired villain is totally over it, basically telling the deer you're a mess, and that cursed shackle on your head is a fashion disaster. The villain is clearly not here for the sass, giving a cold, none-of-your-business look that screams, I am the main character. The deer is internally fuming, swearing that one day he's going to make this guy pay for that cursed shackle. Meanwhile, our masked heroes are just standing there hoping the chaos is finally winding down. Do not say it, one yells, because apparently in this world saying it is over is the ultimate jinx. Too late. He jinxed it, and now the reality-tearing nightmare is starting all over again. The sky literally cracks open like a cheap screen, and everyone is staring at the hole like it's a bad omen. Energy is surging everywhere, and the crew is just watching the impending disaster with pure dread. The silence before the storm is real, and it's honestly just waiting for something to explode. Boom! The portal decides to go full supernova, because why have a normal fight when you can have a fiery apocalypse? Our masked hero is having a "I told you so" moment, looking like he's ready to quit this job immediately. A massive shadow emerges from the flames, and everyone is collectively wondering, wait, is that fire? The dear goblin is panicking, trying to use his weird bottle thing to handle the heat. He's literally throwing fuel into the fire, and honestly, the sarcasm writes itself. He's a genius, really. The situation goes from bad to I'm definitely going to die as the fire spreads out of control. The hero is screaming at the deer for being an idiot, while the deer just shrugs like, yeah, my bad. The deer is realizing his fix is actually making things worse, and he's starting to feel the burn. Our blue-haired girl finally steps in, deciding to handle the water duty since the guys are busy being useless. Disaster averted, but barely. The deer is left standing there, realizing he almost became a crispy snack. Our masked hero is absolutely done with this day, venting that the dear goblin almost turned him into a human barbecue. He thinks the nightmare is finally over, but in this world, that's just asking for trouble. And like clockwork, he jinxed it. The sky decides to rip itself open again, revealing a massive glowing red menace that's definitely not here for a tea party. The atmosphere goes from tense to apocalyptic as a surge of pure dark energy floods the scene. It's like the universe is just trolling them at this point. Our hero's face says it all. He knows he's about to have a very bad time. He realizes he just uttered the ultimate forbidden words. It is over, and boom, reality shatters. The red monstrosity emerges from the portal, proving once again that in Goryeo, you can never ever say things are finally quiet. Reality is officially having a midlife crisis as this massive red monstrosity decides to crash the party. Our masked duo is having a last words moment, which is definitely the best way to start a fight. Priorities, people. Even with death looming, he's worried about his secret stash of erotic art. And of course, the other guy is absolutely losing it, because who would not be mad at that? He's literally arguing about his dignity while a giant red lizard is looming right behind them. The monster's eye glows and you just know it's about to turn them into a light snack. Did it see us? No, we are small. Famous last words before everything goes south. Spoiler alert. It definitely saw them and now it's time for the I told you so panic. The monster decides to go full vacuum mode and our heroes are basically being sucked into the abyss. Time to pull out the ghost face armor art, because if you're going to die you might as well look cool doing it. He's charging up for a big move, screaming come at me, like he's not about to get folded. Ouch. That did not go as planned and he's feeling every bit of that reality-shattering impact. He's genuinely offended by how fast this thing is. Talk about a bad day at the office. The dear goblin is officially panicking, and honestly the chaos is just too much to process. Blue-haired girl to the rescue. She's throwing up a shield because these guys are clearly useless. The monster is just staring them down, probably laughing at how pathetic this heroic stand is. She's holding the line with a triple-layered shield trying to keep them from becoming red paste. The shield is cracking like a cheap phone screen. This is not looking good for the team. Everything is exploding, the team is flying, and it's basically a total disaster zone. The monster just tears through everything, proving that in this world nothing survives a bad mood. Our masked hero is having a why me moment, staring down an army of red lizard freaks that just will not quit. The shadowy villain shows up looking like he just stepped out of a How to Be Creepy 101 seminar. Reality is officially having a midlife crisis as this massive red monstrosity decides to crash the party. The villain is clearly not here for the sass, giving a cold look that screams I am the main character. They're dodging for their lives, realizing that their current situation is about to go from bad to apocalyptic. The monster's eye glows, and you just know it's about to turn them into a light snack. Our masked hero is trying to play it cool, but the white-haired guy is having absolutely none of his bro energy. He's literally arguing about his dignity, while a giant red lizard is looming right behind them. The monster is just staring them down, probably laughing at how pathetic this heroic stand is. The monster unleashes a dragon fear blast, and our heroes are basically doing a dramatic interpretive dance of pain. Our hero is having a I take it back moment, realizing that maybe calling this guy bro was a massive mistake. He's absolutely fed up, and you can practically see the steam coming out of his ears as his partner starts collapsing. The monster decides to go full vacuum mode, and our heroes are basically being sucked into the abyss. He's feeling every bit of that reality-shattering impact and is genuinely offended by how fast this thing is. He's analyzing the situation, noting that if the big guy's heavy hits did nothing, he's in serious trouble. He's bracing for impact, realizing that his current situation is about to go from bad to I'm definitely going to die. He decides to go full demon face insight because apparently looking cool is half the battle. Time to get serious. He cranks up his physical enhancement, hoping he does not get folded like a lawn chair. He goes full flying sword mode, trying to shred through the chaos like it's made of wet tissue paper. Did it see us? No, we are small. Famous last words before everything goes south. Our hero is getting tossed around like a ragdoll by this red monstrosity. Talk about a rough day at the office. He's looking absolutely done with this, his face screaming I am so over this apocalyptic nonsense. He's trying to keep his cool, but reality is basically shattering in his face while he dodges for his life. The villain shows up acting like the main character and mocking our hero for being useless without him. Desperate times call for desperate measures. He's literally using his partner as a stepping stone to survive. Naturally, his partner is fuming about being called by his rank, because dignity is apparently more important than not dying. He's sarcastically checking if his partner is about to drop dead, because why not add some workplace banter to a boss fight? His partner is too exhausted to even lift a finger, basically telling him to just finish the job already. He threatens to burn his partner's precious erotic collection. The ultimate motivation to keep fighting. Time to get serious. He's charging up his ultimate move, ready to show this lizard who's boss. He screams at the monster to just die already, but let's be real, it's definitely not going to be that easy. The monster lets out a massive roar, and our heroes are basically doing a dramatic interpretive dance of pain. He's panicking, realizing that his big move did not exactly go as planned. Oops. Oh great, the fire from earlier is back because the universe just loves to troll them. He's bracing for impact, clearly regretting every life choice that led him to this exact moment. He's staring at the monster's glowing eye, wondering if he's about to become a light snack. Reality is officially having a midlife crisis, and he's just standing there like, wait, what just happened? Boom, everything is exploding and he's getting caught in the crossfire of his own bad luck. Finally, the blue-haired girl steps in to play hero because the guys are clearly busy being useless. She hits the lizard with a blast, asking how it tastes, because if you're going to save the day, you might as well be sassy about it. Our hero barely dodges becoming a human shish kebab, but the day is far from saved. He's busy listing off his own virtues like he's at a job interview, despite the fact that he's currently in a life or death freefall. Panic mode. Engaged. He's desperately looking for a handhold before gravity decides to make him a permanent part of the landscape. A miracle, he actually managed to snag something. Maybe he is not completely useless after all. Just as he celebrates, a giant red monstrosity decides to crash the party, making his win look like a total joke. The dear goblin is struggling, clearly realizing that his master plan is about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Our hero is not giving up though. He's ready to deliver a massive blow to the beast, even if it's a suicide mission. The monster is not impressed, dismissing our hero like he's an annoying gnat at a picnic. The beast opens its maw, and it's basically a one-way ticket to the afterlife. It's pure unadulterated chaos as the monster unleashes its full terrifying presence. Our hero is still reeling, wondering how the white-haired villain is even involved in this mess. He's desperately trying to anchor himself, but the monster's hide is tougher than his ego. The realization hits him. He's way out of his league, and his face says it all. Look at the scale of this disaster. He's just a tiny speck against a literal nightmare. He's hanging by a thread, literally and figuratively, questioning every life choice that led him here. Gravity, monsters, and bad luck. The trifecta of a really terrible Tuesday. And to top it all off, his partner is threatening his most prized possession. Talk about a toxic workplace. Our hero is just sitting there, probably questioning why he ever signed up for this gig. The sass is real, and honestly the tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. If you make a mistake, you will die, says the dear goblin, as if that's not the most obvious thing ever. The villain is acting like he's the main character, preaching about missions while looking like a total edgelord. Oh, look, more dramatic sword swinging, because that's definitely going to solve everything. The Black Ghost core, more like the Black Ghost please stop talking core. He's going full dramatic monologue about Goryeo's stability, as if he's not currently in the middle of a disaster. He's threatening to expose the villain's evil deeds, which is a bold move when you're currently losing. And now he's threatening the goblin lineage. Talk about taking things from 0 to 100 real quick. The dear goblin is finally calling out how trashy that sword is. About time someone said it. He's blaming the villain for the mess, which is fair, but maybe focus on the giant monster first. Is that your last words? The classic line before everything inevitably goes wrong. Neither of those, because he's just that difficult to deal with. The dear goblin has a flashback, and you just know it's going to be a trauma dumping session. 12 years ago in Naju, yeah, that definitely explains why everything is currently on fire. Wah, I got scared. Honestly, same girl, same. Everyone is just standing around looking shocked, like they did not see the giant red lizard coming. I am still not dead. The battle cry of someone who is definitely about to get folded. Stop fighting and save the goblins, because apparently priorities are a thing now. And the monster just keeps staring, probably wondering why these guys are still talking. Reality decides to have a midlife crisis as a massive portal tears open, signaling that everything is about to go from bad to apocalyptic. A red monstrosity crashes the party, proving that in Goryeo you can never ever catch a break. Our heroes are losing their minds, screaming in pure terror, while the monster looms over them like a bad omen. The beast unleashes a wave of pure chaos, and our team is basically doing a dramatic interpretive dance of pain. Is it dead yet? Our hero asks, desperately hoping his luck has finally turned around. The white-haired villain is acting like the main character, deciding he's got missions to attend to while everyone else is dying. Priorities, people. Even with a giant lizard breathing down their necks, they're still bickering about who's doing what. He's dropping a dramatic last request like he's in a soap opera, and honestly the sass is just too much. The villain kicks off, leaving the others to deal with the fallout of this absolute disaster zone. He's acting all high and mighty, calling everyone else reckless while he casually walks away from the carnage. Stop right there, because apparently the drama is not finished just yet. Our hero tries to stand his ground, but he's clearly about to get folded like a lawn chair. As long as I am alive, he says, trying to sound cool while his dignity is currently in the trash. The monster basically tells them they are not even worth the effort of killing. Talk about a bruised ego. The villain threatens to tear them to pieces if they meet again, because why not add a little more tension to the mix? With a flick of his wrist, he vanishes, leaving the team to wonder what just hit them. The Black Ghost Corps is left to pick up the pieces, looking like they just lost a fight with a hurricane. The report is in. They're all beat up, the boss is missing, and everything is officially a mess. No casualties, he mutters, trying to find a silver lining in this absolute dumpster fire. He sighs, calling his partner a foolish bastard, because nothing says teamwork like insulting your friends after surviving the apocalypse. Reality is having a total midlife crisis as this massive red monstrosity crashes the party. Our hero is staring down the barrel of a 5th death sentence, wondering how on earth this guy showed up. The villain enters with all the grace of a wrecking ball, clearly here to steal the spotlight. He's acting like he's just running a quick errand, but the vibe is definitely apocalyptic disaster. He takes one look at the carnage and starts roasting everyone for the absolute mess they've made. Hanging out with Han Gil, he's basically calling them out for being completely useless at their jobs. Enter the edgelord himself, Choi Moo-hyun, ready to remind everyone exactly who the main character is. He starts recapping the mission like he's reading a boring quarterly report while everyone is dying. When he mentions the team is presumed dead, our hero finally snaps and tells him to shut it. The villain does not care about the dead guy. He's just annoyed that his disgraceful team failed. Our hero is desperate, asking how he knew about the failure. Did he just watch them suffer for fun? The situation is a dumpster fire and our hero is ready to take the heat just to get some answers. The villain gives a chilling ultimatum. He's going to make them beg for the sweet release of death. The monster's eye glows and you just know they're about to be turned into a light snack. The villain decides the goblins are the priority, because why save the team when you can go on a blood hunt? He commands the Black Ghost Corps to prepare for the hunt. Acting like this is just a fun weekend activity. The scene is pure unadulterated chaos with our hero caught in a web of his own bad luck. He's hanging by a thread literally, and the villain is just laughing at his misery. What should we do now? He asks while the team is busy questioning every life choice that led them here. All right, Tilda, he says, and you just know things are about to go from bad to definitely going to die. The monster has officially decided that our heroes are no longer a threat. They're just a snack. Cue the absolute carnage. It's laughing while it tears through the battlefield like it's shredding junk mail. It's not even trying to be dramatic anymore, just casually snacking on the opposition, because hey, dinner time is serious business. And just like that, the light fades from its eye, leaving us wondering if anyone is actually going to survive this dumpster fire. Our masked hero is looking absolutely done with this, his face screaming, I am so over this apocalyptic nonsense. Meet Hangil, the Black Demon clan captain, who is currently failing the vibe check by being bored in the middle of a war zone. He's literally yawning while the world burns. Talk about a lack of professional urgency. Suddenly, the Kim Cheomji family is getting the eradication treatment for collaborating with goblins, and things just went from 0 to 100. Our guy is perched on the roof like an edgelord watching the carnage unfold with zero chill. Meanwhile, the local guards are just sitting around wondering why it's so quiet. Spoiler alert, it's not quiet, you're just oblivious. They're debating why the Lord told everyone to sleep early, completely unaware that their jackpot is actually a death sentence. And just like that, the quiet night turns into a bloodbath. Guess they are not getting that beauty sleep after all. Our masked protagonist pops out of the shadows like, hey, old man, did you really think you could get away with this? He's offering a choice. No resistance, no pain, which is basically the villain version of would you like fries with that? He's not just here for the goblins. He's here to wipe out every single person who colluded with them. Talk about a grudge. The surgery begins, and let's just say it's a lot more aggressive than your average doctor's visit. He's locked in, ready to finish the job while everything around him descends into absolute chaos. He's staring at the lump, the source of 30 years of torment, and he's finally ready to cut it loose. The lump is gone, and honestly the celebration is a little too enthusiastic for a battlefield. This is the price for the rice cakes, he says, proving that even in the apocalypse, it's all about the snacks. He's living his best life now that the lump is gone, even if he's surrounded by absolute monsters. The vibe is just pure unadulterated madness. These guys are laughing while the world ends. Our hero just stares, probably wondering if he accidentally walked into a circus instead of a boss fight. The kid asks where does it hurt, like he's a doctor, but let's be real. The only thing hurting here is my sanity. Our masked hero is back and he's clearly not here for a friendly chat. He's got his sights set on someone's eye. The old man and his goblin buddy are absolutely losing their minds, screaming for the kid to run. Panic level 100. The kid is just standing there like, wait, what is happening? Total deer in headlights moment. The tension is literally being cut through and things are getting messy fast. The scene is set. A quiet night that's about to become a total disaster zone. The old man is having a full-blown meltdown, desperately crying out for Jambiel while his world falls apart. And just like that, our hero swoops in and snatches the kid. Talk about a dramatic entrance. The old man is begging, trying to trade anything to keep the kid safe, but our hero is not exactly the negotiating type. Take my money, take my soul, just leave the kid. The desperation is real, but the hero is stone cold. The old man finally notices the look in the hero's eye, and it's not exactly a look of mercy. That's not the gaze of a guy who wants a payday. That's the look of someone on a mission. The hero drops the bomb. He's not here for the loot, he's here for the life of the person responsible. The old man starts laughing like a maniac, because when you're about to die, why not go out with a cackle? Our hero is getting annoyed. He's got no time for villainous monologues or weird laughing fits. Grab. The old man actually manages to stop the blade with his bare hands. Who does that? Blood is flying, the tension is peaking, and the hero is genuinely shocked that his sword did not do the trick. Lucky for you, the hero says, though it definitely does not feel like a lucky day for anyone involved. The old man is basically saying, take my pathetic life then, while holding the blade like a champ. The sword will not budge and the goblin is screaming in the background. It's a total chaotic mess. As the dust settles, we get the tragic backstory. A kid who only knew hunger and pain. This is not just a fight, it is a cycle of misery, but sometimes the cycle of violence just does not know when to quit. Even in this hellscape, a kid somehow grew up kind, but now he's just screaming for his grandpa. The old man is basically begging for the sweet release of death at this point. He's pleading for the hero to just take his life and be done with it. Please just spare the kid. The classic I am a villain but I have feelings trope. Our masked hero swoops in and honestly the timing is impeccable. The old man is laughing like a total maniac. Is he losing it or is he just that done? The atmosphere is heavy and the kid is just sitting there completely traumatized. The doors creak open and you know something bad is about to go down. Slash. The tension is literally being cut through and things are getting messy fast. Our hero is locked in, eyes glowing with that "I am about to ruin your day" energy. He's putting in the work, but man, he looks like he's having a rough time. The hand-to-hand combat is getting real and he's clearly not holding back. He's pulling off some wild moves, but he's definitely feeling the burn. Ha, the sound of someone who is definitely regretting their life choices today. He's crouched down looking around like, wait, where am I? Total main character confusion. He turns around probably wondering why everything is so weirdly quiet. He's peering through the bars and the realization is starting to hit him like a truck. The face of a man who just realized he's in way over his head. And just like that, he realizes he's probably dead. Welcome to the afterlife, pal. Our hero wakes up to find a kid acting like a chirpy nurse, completely ignoring the fact that they're in a death trap. The kid is throwing logs around like he's in a wood chopping competition, while our hero just stares in disbelief. I treated you, but do not overdo it, the kid says, while our hero is probably wondering if he's hallucinating from blood loss. The kid is still hammering away at his little hut, casually mentioning he could not fix the hero's scar. Priorities, kid. How long are you going to stare? The kid is genuinely offended that his year-long DIY project is not getting enough praise. Our hero is finally processing the situation, looking like he just realized he's trapped in a surreal nightmare. Long time no see, bad mister. Oh great, a reunion with the person who probably wants him dead. How charming. The kid admits he thought about just leaving him to rot, which is honestly a mood. He starts listing off ways to torture him, rearranging ribs or removing useless parts. Who invited this psychopath to the party? He's got hundreds of revenge plans, but he's just sitting there looking bored. Talk about a lack of follow-through. He points at a butterfly and for a second you think, is this a Disney movie? Spoiler, it's not. I did not take revenge. He's acting like he's the bigger person, but we all know he's just waiting for the right moment to strike. Our hero just keeps staring, probably trying to figure out if he should run or just accept his fate. The kid is talking about how precious the time he gained from his grandpa was. Deep but still super creepy. Protecting people is cooler, right? He asks, while our hero is likely thinking, can I just go home now? The hero is still just staring, his brain officially buffering at the sheer weirdness of this conversation. How have you been living? The kid asks, as if they're catching up over coffee instead of a bloodbath. The kid admits he did nothing, and the look of pure existential dread on his face is priceless. He's spiraling about how he could not do anything to stop the tragedy, and honestly, it's getting a bit too real. They're just sitting there, a broken kid and a confused hero waiting for the next disaster to strike. What a vibe. Our hero is standing there looking absolutely done with everything, claiming he did not kill anyone. Sure buddy, tell that to the pile of bodies. The kid is crying about how his grandpa is still protecting people. Talk about a tragic backstory, that's definitely going to ruin my day. Our hero just gives a look that says, I'm tired of this nonsense, while the tension hits an all-time high. The kid is suddenly acting like a chatty tour guide, asking if the hero has questions. Read the room, kid, we're in a war zone. The hero is having an existential crisis, wondering why he's losing a conversation to a child. Welcome to the club, pal. Suddenly a deer man thing jumps in, screaming about how the hero is trespassing. Seriously, what is with the wildlife in this place? This deer guy is absolutely losing his marbles, laughing like a total maniac. Someone get this guy a sedative. The hero is just staring at the deer man, completely baffled. Why is there a deer here? Honestly, that's the most relatable question ever. The deer man is holding a grudge because the hero cut off his antlers. Talk about a weird reason to start a fight. He's screaming about making the hero pay while the background looks like a literal nightmare. The kid tries to play mediator, but the hero is clearly not in the mood for a group hug. The deer man starts monologuing about his sacred stronghold of bandits. Yeah, okay, keep telling yourself that, Bambi. The hero finally snaps, shouting, a trial? Who said? He is so over these villainous formalities. He's ready to throw hands and the energy is pure. I'm about to ruin your whole career. Enter Hyunwoong, the big bad boss, acting like he's the main character of this entire disaster. He threatens to cut off limbs if they resist. Talk about an aggressive way to say please leave. Meet the boss. He's a goblin who likes wrestling. Because of course the final boss is a gym bro. We get a look at the goblin hideout. It's basically a fortress of bad vibes and questionable decor. The minions are confused, wondering if the dark-looking guy is the bad one. Spoilers, they're all bad. They're debating if the hero is actually scary. Little do they know they're about to find out exactly how scary he is. Our hero is tied up like a human piñata, screaming that he's innocent, while the goblins treat his life like a bad joke. The goblin trial is officially in session, because apparently even in the apocalypse you need a permit to get executed. Han Gil is clearly having the worst day ever, shouting his name like he's trying to win a most annoyed prisoner award. The big guy decides formalities are for losers, but then asks for his name anyway. Make up your mind, dude. He's reaching out to grab the scroll, probably ready to read a bedtime story of pure carnage. Yoink. The scroll is snatched and the tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. The accusation drops. He's a member of the Black Ghost Corps and the vibes are officially rancid. Behold the Scroll of Doom. It's basically a Yelp review of all their worst atrocities. The boss is about to spill the tea, and let's just say it's not going to be a refreshing cup. Look at this motley crew of nightmare fuel. The audience is definitely not here for the snacks. The silence is deafening as they wait for the verdict while the dear man does a little tap dance. The boss is reading the list of crimes, and honestly, he sounds like he's reading a grocery list. 9 dead here, 52 dead there. It's a casual Tuesday for these guys apparently. They're just casually blaming everyone else playing the "it was not me" game like a bunch of toddlers. Han Gil is still screaming his innocence, but at this point he's just shouting into the void. The scroll keeps rolling, and the list of victims just keeps getting longer and more depressing. 21 dead and 1 survivor. The stats are looking absolutely abysmal for our hero's case. The boss is done with the lies and is ready to turn our hero's face into a modern art project. Jambiel tries to step in, but the boss is having none of that hero-saving nonsense today. The final blow of the argument. The dead stay dead, and no amount of pleading is going to fix that. The goblin trial has reached its peak and the verdict is in. It's time for some wrestling punishment, because nothing says justice like a good old-fashioned beatdown. Our hero is staring at the boss like, wait, is this a joke? He's genuinely confused about what kind of twisted game this is. Meanwhile, the crowd is looking like a bunch of party-goers who forgot the cake, and our hero is just screaming what even is a wrestling punishment. The boss pulls out an axe and our hero is like, hey buddy, I thought we were wrestling. Where's the sportsmanship? Tied to a log and facing an axe-wielding maniac. Definitely not the wrestling match he signed up for. The boss just laughs, clearly enjoying the irony of his wrestling rules. The scene shifts to the eerie foggy woods, setting the stage for the chaos to come. Our hero is looking absolutely unhinged, ready to snap and turn this whole place into a disaster zone. He's checking in with the team, asking if they're ready to stop playing around. Old Man Park is tired, grumpy, and definitely not getting paid enough to deal with this nonsense. The hero shuts him down, reminding him that he's far too useful to retire just yet. The banter continues, and honestly, these two are like an old married couple, just with more murder. The hero is questioning their odds, wondering if they can actually pull off a raid on the goblin base while he's basically falling apart. Tensions are rising, and it looks like they might start fighting each other before they even get to the real bad guys. But do not worry, the Black Ghost Corps is on the way, and they've got a plan that's probably going to be a total mess. The hero holds a mysterious orb, looking like he's about to drop the ultimate "I'm done with your face" move. The air is thick with dread as he stands there ready to flip the switch. He raises his weapon, and the energy is pure, unadulterated. You're all going to regret being born. The hunt is officially on, the execution is set, and the carnage is about to be absolutely legendary. Our heroes are deep in the woods listening to some local goon brag about a giant lizard like he's the star of a tall tale contest. The team is not having it, and they make sure he knows his ego is way bigger than his actual accomplishments. Talk about a quick reality check. The conversation ends abruptly with a massive bloody splash. The survivors are looking absolutely shook, realizing they just brought a knife to a gunfight. Our masked hero moves with the speed of a nightmare, closing the distance before they can even blink. He's not here to chat. He's here to end this, holding up a glowing orb that screams bad news. The team is fully locked in, moving like a synchronized death squad through the chaos. Even in the heat of battle, the hero has to deal with his team questioning if they're even in the right place. Old Man Park is officially done, with the incompetence snapping at the others like a disappointed teacher. He swings his brush, and suddenly, the environment itself starts tearing apart at the seams. The sheer scale of the power on display is enough to make anyone rethink their life choices. The old man is putting in work, showing these goons exactly why you do not mess with a master. The team is reeling from the intensity, with someone already complaining about their back. Priorities, guys. They're staring at the destruction, wondering if they're fighting reality or just a really convincing hallucination. The hero is playing the "I am the boss" card, telling them to stay put while he handles the heavy lifting. The bickering continues, but the hero is already focused on the bigger, scarier picture. He holds the orb, giving a sinister laugh that says he's about to break the game entirely. The seal cracks, and the energy radiating from it is enough to make the very air tremble. The hero's face is pure, unadulterated madness. He's loving every second of this destruction. The final blow lands, and the enemies are left staring at their own doom, realizing they never stood a chance. The team is staring at a mysterious symbol, realizing this is exactly what they saw when Master Jin vanished into thin air. Everyone is losing their minds, wondering how Fifth is even managing to survive this absolute chaos. The realization hits like a truck. If Jin Dian is gone, does that mean the lizard invasion and everything else is connected? It's all starting to click. Was the Black Ghost Corps behind this entire disaster from the very beginning? The villain is not holding back anymore, letting out a manic laugh and screaming for his goons to attack. Total mayhem breaks out as the order to wipe them out is given, and the battlefield turns into a complete meat grinder. A massive beast enters the fray, roaring like it's auditioning for a monster movie, while the team braces for impact. Han Gil is desperately begging Old Man Park for a clue, but the old guy just tells him he would not understand anyway. Classic. Hangil tries to play the civilized human card with a literal goblin, which is about as effective as you'd expect. The goblin boss decides wrestling is the way to settle this, while Hangil realizes he's in way over his head. The wrestling match turns out to be a one-sided beatdown, and Hangil is screaming for his life. The boss is clearly annoyed by the noise, proving that even in a death match he's got no patience for banter. Hangil is literally hanging upside down, probably rethinking every life choice that led him to this moment. He's looking up at the axe, realizing that this trial is definitely not going to end with a handshake. The boss drops the hammer. He never intended to let a Black Ghost Corps member walk away alive. The kid is standing there looking absolutely lost and asking the hero what the plan is while everything burns. He tries to step in and stop the big bear boss, but the tension is already at a breaking point. The boss is not listening to anyone, raising his axe and threatening to start the carving process with an arm. The rage is real. He's promising to make the hero pay for every single life he's ever taken. Finally, someone screams for Hyunwoon to stop, but is it already too late to save the day? The dear man is back and absolutely losing his marbles, acting like he's the main character of this chaotic mess. Our hero is tied up like a human piñata, and the kid is desperately trying to play the I saved you card to stop the madness. The dear man pauses, his face twisting into pure terror as he realizes something truly horrific is approaching. Suddenly the ground shakes and the vibe shifts from Goblin Trial to "we are all going to die in record time." The barrier is literally shattering like cheap glass. Talk about a bad day for the local security team. The dear man is staring down the barrel of a nightmare, looking like he's ready to sprint for the hills. Everything is collapsing, and the goblins are panicking like they just realized they forgot to pay the electricity bill. Our hero is still dangling there, probably wondering if he can get a refund on this entire experience. The vibe is getting weirdly nostalgic. The hero recognizes this terrifying presence from his own dark past. The dear man finally snaps and screams for everyone to run because fighting this thing is a one-way ticket to the afterlife. Still tied to the log, our hero is just like, "Hey, could you maybe untie me before the world ends?" The realization hits the boss like a freight train. This is not just a fight, it is a blast from a very bloody past. The dear man is begging for a retreat, clearly realizing he's way out of his league here. A massive shadow-drenched beast emerges, and it's been 12 years since this nightmare first started. The hero's eyes widen. He knows exactly what that hole in reality means, and it's not good for anyone's health. The goblins are losing their minds, and the dear man is desperately trying to keep his cool while everything falls apart. The birch forest is becoming a total war zone, and the chaos is reaching peak levels of yikes. The dear man is screaming for the big bear to hurry up because standing still is basically a death wish. The boss tells the dear man to get out of dodge while he stays back to face the encroaching shadow. The dear man looks back furious and terrified, spitting out a final insult at the goblin boss before fleeing the carnage. Our hero is literally hanging like a human piñata, begging these goblins to stop the drama and just cut him down already. The dear man is losing his mind, screaming orders, while our hero just tries to get someone to acknowledge his existence. Suddenly, the vibe shifts from Goblin Trial to total disaster as a terrifying shadow emerges. Time to bail. The goblin boss is still obsessed with his wrestling match, completely oblivious to the fact that they're all about to be deleted. Our hero is still tied up, probably wondering if he can get a refund on this entire miserable experience. The boss is ready to throw down, but he's about to realize he's way out of his league against this incoming nightmare. Still dangling, our hero is just screaming at the big bear to learn what actual wrestling is. Talk about a bad day at the office. We shift to the eerie goblin restaurant, where the atmosphere is thicker than the plot armor in this show. A mysterious figure sits in the shadows reading a scroll like they're checking off a grocery list of impending doom. Those eyes, pure unadulterated menace. You know things are about to get real when the lights dim and the silence starts screaming. The tea is spilled. There's major trouble at Songgak Mountain, and the locals are definitely not equipped to handle a passage opening. The request is simple: lend them your strength, because apparently the world is ending and we need a heavy hitter. The reveal is here. Lord Usra has entered the chat, and the stakes just went from yikes to apocalyptic. Our mysterious anti-hero is clearly having a "who are you again" moment, refusing to acknowledge his past. Meanwhile, the shadows are whispering about how the current crew is way too incompetent to handle the upcoming disaster. He's totally over the drama, refusing to clean up after these chaotic troublemakers anymore. But there's a trade-off. Bring them to him and he'll spill the tea on the person Lord Bikdu is hunting. The tension is palpable as he pauses, realizing the gravity of the situation unfolding. His eyes widen. Something just clicked, and it's definitely not good news. He's absolutely fuming, muttering about that damned bastard who keeps ruining his day. With a surge of raw power, he's ready to tear reality a new one just to get his way. He's not playing nice anymore. If he has to drag their corpses to get results, he'll do it. That grin is pure nightmare fuel. He's demanding a promise that's bound to end in bloodshed. The air literally starts swirling with dark energy as the situation spirals out of control. He drops a name, Hanul, and suddenly the atmosphere gets even colder. Back at the base, the lackeys are busy arguing over the bill for the furniture they're about to destroy. Total chaos erupts as the heavy hitters clash, turning the battlefield into a wrecking yard. The impact is bone-shaking, showing exactly why you do not want to be on the receiving end of that hit. The shockwaves are intense and the expressions say it all. They are way out of their depth. Our hero is still stuck in a tight spot, literally hanging on for dear life. The screaming is reaching a fever pitch. This wrestling match has officially gone off the rails. The axe is coming down and the panic is real. This is definitely not how he wanted to spend his Tuesday. He's left reeling, barely holding it together as the world around him turns into a complete disaster zone. Our hero is currently serving as a human piñata, and honestly, he's not loving the view from up here. He's absolutely livid, screaming at these goons like they just stole his favorite lunch. He's not here for a wrestling match. He's here to make sure they regret every life choice that led to this moment. He's officially done playing nice, and the threat level just skyrocketed to total annihilation. That grin, yeah, that's the look of someone who's about to break the game entirely. Total mayhem ensues as he unleashes hell, turning the battlefield into a complete meat grinder. The vibe just shifted from goblin trial to we are all going to die in record time. The dear man is losing his marbles, screaming for everyone to bail before they become permanent decorations. He's trying to stay sharp, but let's be real. The panic is setting in hard. Wait, where's Jambiel? The realization hits like a truck. This is a disaster. Everyone is spiraling, wondering if the kid is still stuck in the middle of this absolute chaos. The silence is deafening and the look in his eyes says everything we need to know. Do not tell me that tiny little brat. Oh, he's definitely involved in this mess. He's losing his mind, and honestly, who can blame him? Everything is falling apart. Jumchai, the name drops and the tension just hit a whole new level of yikes. He's barking orders to head to Bikdu Mountain, but the crew is busy complaining about the weather. Better to be cold than dead. A solid life motto if I've ever heard one. He's forced to trust the guy he hates. Classic messy and totally doomed to fail. He's fuming about Jambiel, and you just know this is going to end in a massive explosion. Just stay put, because nothing says safety like leaving a kid in the middle of a war zone. Talk about a bad day at the office. Our hero is literally hanging like a human piñata while a massive beast crashes the party. He's not just hanging around. He's using his feet to deliver a face full of justice to the nearest goblin. He's having the time of his life, laughing in the face of danger while surrounded by an absolute army of goons. Even tied up, he's still the most dangerous guy in the room, landing hits that would make a pro wrestler jealous. The big bear boss is just standing there, probably wondering why his wrestling match turned into a total disaster. The realization hits the boss like a freight train. He finally recognizes the guy he's been trying to bully. The boss looks absolutely furious, ready to swing that massive axe and end the fly buzzing around his head. He swings with everything he's got, but our hero is just too slippery for his own good. That surprised me, he says while dodging a lethal blow that would have turned him into a snack. The tension is at an all-time high as the boss prepares to unleash a move that's definitely not in the wrestling rulebook. Our hero is getting tired of this routine. Every time he tries to make a move, he's stuck in this chaotic loop. He's locked in, eyes wide and focused, ready to turn the tables on this oversized brute. That look in his eyes, that's the I'm about to break the game stare. He's spinning through the air, using his restraints as a weapon, because why not? Freedom. He screams, finally breaking out of his ropes and ready to show these monsters who's boss. One clean hit is all it takes to remind the big bear why you do not mess with a legend. He's feeling himself now, declaring that these monsters are nothing more than a minor inconvenience. The shadow of the beast looms large, but our hero is already 2 steps ahead of the carnage. It's a piece of cake, he says, completely unfazed by the fact that the world is basically ending around him. He pauses for a second, realizing that his last lying down experience was probably a lot less violent than this. Talk about a bad day. Our hero is literally choking on the chaos as a nightmare from his past crashes the party. He's officially done playing nice, and the threat level just skyrocketed to total annihilation. The vibe just shifted from goblin trial to we are all going to die in record time. The goblin boss is still obsessed with his wrestling match, completely oblivious to the fact that they're all about to be deleted. The realization hits the boss like a freight train. This is not just a fight, it is a blast from a very bloody past. A massive shadow-drenched beast emerges, and it's been 12 years since this nightmare first started. The dear man is losing his marbles, screaming for everyone to bail before they become permanent decorations. The boss is ready to throw down, but he's about to realize he's way out of his league against this incoming nightmare. That grin, yeah, that's the look of someone who's about to break the game entirely. He's absolutely livid, screaming at these goons like they just stole his favorite lunch. Total mayhem ensues as he unleashes hell, turning the battlefield into a complete meat grinder. Our hero and the big bear boss are locked in a chaotic standoff, both realizing they need to stop the nonsense and get moving before everything goes south. The boss is clearly losing his patience, his massive fist clenching as he prepares to unleash some serious unwrestling-like violence. A massive swing tears through the air, turning the battlefield into a total disaster zone. Talk about a bad day at the office. Our hero is dodging like a pro, looking at the boss like, are you actually serious with this amateur hour? The tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal as they trade insults with our hero, making it clear they are not exactly best buddies. The boss tries to play it cool, dismissing our hero as a small fry, but he's about to find out that's a massive mistake. Chaos reigns as the boss tries to force a retreat, but the situation is spiraling way out of control. The goblins are getting absolutely wrecked in the crossfire. It's a total meat grinder out there. Our hero is reading the boss like an open book, mocking his stubbornness while the world literally falls apart around them. Suddenly, a blur of motion. Our hero is taking the fight to the next level with some serious footwork. Small fry, our hero delivers a face full of justice, proving that size definitely does not matter when you are this fast. The boss is fuming, calling our hero a pesky fly, but he's the one looking like a slow-motion target. The impact is bone-shaking, showing exactly why you do not want to be on the receiving end of that hit. Our hero is done playing nice, his eyes glowing with that "I am about to break the game" energy. A massive surge of power erupts, and the boss is finally realizing he's way out of his league. The boss is screaming for blood, but he's just a loud obstacle in a much bigger, scarier story. Our hero just laughs in the face of the threat, mocking the boss' pathetic attempt to catch him. The banter is top tier even while they're busy turning the surroundings into a total wrecking yard. Enough is enough. Our hero takes charge, pointing the way to Bikdu Mountain, because someone has to be the adult here. And just like that, he's demanding a promotion to Boss Jumchai, because if you're going to save the world, you might as well get a fancy title out of it. Our hero is back at it, trying to figure out why the squad is dragging him all the way to Bikdu Mountain. Listen up, rookie, the boss says, ready to drop some lore about their ancestral home and the energy of the land. It's a history lesson nobody asked for. 12 years ago, Naju province turned into a total dumpster fire. Things went south fast when the fox and the brother had a massive falling out, splitting the group apart. One built a fortress on Songgak Mountain while the other decided to play tavern keeper in Gijong. Talk about a career pivot. Now they're retreating to Bikdu Mountain because apparently invading the city would be too much of a headache. And of course, the legendary servant Kim Mushin is waiting there, because why would not he be? Just trust me. The boss yells, but suddenly the air starts burning and everything goes sideways. Total chaos erupts as a literal wall of fire sweeps through, turning their plans into ash. Our hero is losing his mind, screaming, "Why is there fire everywhere?" Honestly, valid question. Someone's clearly crashing the party, and our hero is already over the drama of dealing with these leftovers. Enter the spear master, looking like he's ready to turn everyone into a shish kebab. Our hero is fuming. He was finally enjoying his boss phase before this guy ruined his vibe. The enemy just laughs, telling him to run for his life if he wants to keep being entertaining. The fight is on, and it's less of a wrestling match and more of a high-speed wrecking ball. Our hero is dodging like a pro, mocking the guy for being too slow to land a single hit. The boss is getting triggered, huffing and puffing, while our hero just laughs at his pathetic attempts. A massive strike tears through the air, but our hero is already 2 steps ahead of the carnage. Seriously, what a pest. The boss is officially done playing nice and the gloves are coming off. It's time for some goblin wrestling justice, and the boss is about to get a lesson he will not forget. Our hero is absolutely fed up, turning this wrestling match into a personal beatdown session. He's taunting the big bear, basically telling him his swings are about as threatening as a toddler's tantrum. The boss is fuming, clearly not a fan of our hero's trash-talking skills. Another dodge, another insult. Our hero is making this look way too easy. The boss is losing his mind, screaming about flies, but he's the one about to get swatted. Empty threats from the boss, but he's still swinging, that acts like his life depends on it. Time to get serious. Our hero is locking in, and you know things are about to get messy. Suddenly, a lethal strike tears through the air, and it's definitely not from the boss. Our hero freezes. That sword style is a blast from a very painful past. The boss is just as annoyed, realizing they've got a third party crashing their private brawl. Talk about a rude interruption. The new guy is already running his mouth. The boss is visibly struggling, clearly out of his depth with this new threat. The boss is literally crying over his useless goons. Talk about a bad day at the office. Our hero decides to stop the chatter and delivers a hit that sends shockwaves through the whole arena. The impact is brutal, and the boss is finally feeling the weight of his own incompetence. A massive explosion of power. The battlefield is officially a wrecking yard. Our hero is literally coughing up dust, wondering why he can't have one peaceful Tuesday. Enter the spear master, looking like he just stepped out of a nightmare to ruin everyone's vibe. Our hero is in total shock. Old man Park, how is this guy even standing here? The reunion nobody asked for. Our hero is losing his mind while the spear master just keeps being a total pest. Our hero is absolutely done with the constant yapping, basically telling the opposition that the guy who abandoned his post has zero room to talk. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts from annoying banter to "we are all doomed" as a terrifying shadow-drenched nightmare crashes the party. The newcomer is not just some random goon. He's got a history with our guy, and he's clearly here to stir up some ancient bloody drama. Our hero's face says it all. He recognizes this crazy murderer instantly, and let's just say he's not exactly thrilled about the reunion. The villain decides to flex his authority, ordering his all-black ghost corps to take down our hero for the crime of hanging out with goblins. Before our hero can even process the absurdity of being called a traitor, the order is given to capture him, and things go from zero to absolute chaos in a heartbeat. Left standing in the wreckage of his day, our hero is genuinely baffled. He's gone from bossing around goblins to public enemy number 1 in 5 seconds flat.